I want to go down under now to Mark Sheridan, a nurse consultant living in Wollongong. That's about an hour and a half out of Sydney. Mark, tell me about your move to Australia. What brought you there and what are you doing?
Good morning, Sean. Well, look, I think what all the other my colleagues there are saying, there are the reasons why I came to Australia. There was very little support given to nurses. There was very little, resources put into it, and cutbacks were constant, the moratorium being one of them. I moved to Australia 5 years ago with my wife and two young children, simply because I didn't want to be part of that difficulty of the economy being so tough, and I thought it was unfair on my kids and their future. And for myself and my wife, we both worked very hard and we never lived beyond our means, and we were, always tried to be good, but we were being punished for that. So we left. We decided to give Australia a shot. Never been here, didn't know anybody here, we just thought we'd give it a shot. And it's worked.
In what way? What kind of work have you been doing?
Well, I came out here and I initially started working as a registered nurse within the prison system. And I got the job from New South Wales Health, coming over to Ireland, doing interviews, looking for experienced staff members to go over. So I was given the job whilst in Ireland. Came over, started working in the prison system. I think a part of it was a bit of luck. I think it's always a bit of luck if you succeed in anything that you try to do. But also I did work very hard, put in a lot of hours. I've had roles in the last 5 years ranging from being an ORN on the floor to being a nurse educator, being a nurse manager, being an operations manager over a large service, and now being a nurse consultant over a fairly large area, 9 hospitals.
And you've moved then from starting there in the prison, as you say, and you're now in a kind of a supervisory capacity. Would you be prepared to consider returning to Ireland?
Under no circumstances, no. That's pretty brutal and honest, I know, but yes, I follow what's going on in Ireland. I obviously keep up to date with news, and in particular in the nursing profession. As you know, I'm very passionate about it, and
what's different? What's better about your working life now?
My working life potential. There's a want and support there. Look, nursing is always going to be under-resourced. Any healthcare is, no matter where you go in the world, it's going to be under-resourced. But it's not to the extent as it is in Ireland. If I had to bring one of my kids, and I've had to do it on a couple of occasions, into an ED department, I've never been longer than 2 hours waiting in any ED department with any of my children before they're being assessed, identified what their needs are, concerns are, treated and either discharged or sent to, now it may not be an admitted ward, but it could certainly be a holding ward. That doesn't happen in Ireland. I've got family members, who are currently quite unwell and going through a lot of healthcare needs, and I get stories of them sitting 10, 15 hours, elderly patients, in hospital trolleys or chairs, if they're lucky, in ED departments. That doesn't exist over here.
To come back to you,
painting.
Sorry, you're not painting what?
I'm not painting Australia as being perfect. It's not. But it certainly is a lot better than what the Irish Health Service is at the moment.
So I suppose, having listened to your 3 colleagues who are still back here, Mark Sheridan in Sydney, I imagine you might be expecting calls from people coming out there who might be thinking of moving.
Well, I've worked in a number of services and across a number of hospitals between Sydney and the south coast here, and every single ward has Irish people on it, from all ages, from young, newly qualified nurses to some nurses who have been out here 30, 40 years. So I expect that continue. And the Irish nurses are very, very highly valued out here, I will say that. Their skills is noted, definitely.
Okay, look, we'll leave it there for now. Thank you all for joining.